Hi, this is ROB Magic Magazine, and it's strange the mainstream media. I think we can all sense that, or know that there's been a decline in the mainstream media. They don't really seem to have the profit they had, if at all. But it's strange how it functions. It narrows people's perceptions of reality. But there's also some other things it does, and that is it seems to be favouring each other. And that's a trend we have to be careful about, especially as occultists. If you're an occultist, this is the bad news, because basically they want to shut occultism out of the world, but not just occultism, other things as well. Even things like unacceptable comedy. Things do get banned and stuff like that. Things that really, I'm not talking things that really are awful, just things that someone disagrees with. But they are favouring each other. And if you look, for instance, on the Internet Movie Database, you'll find it. And you'll find people on there. I'm on there. Strange, I know an author being on that, but I am actually on. You can put S dot and leave a gap and then put Rob. But, people's rankings moves up and down. But an interesting thing, you tend to find that people who are on TV tend to have more opportunities to make money, usually, not always, than people who are big on the internet. I'm talking equivalent level of fame. I'm not talking people who are at the very, very top, okay? I'm not talking necessarily the very, very most famous people. But they seem to have more opportunities. And you say it a lot, okay? I mean, I'm an author, I write books. But a lot of people don't. Basically, a lot of people have a lot of fame, relatively speaking. Not like Tom Cruise or Arnold Schwarzenegger. They have quite a lot. And yet, it doesn't always spin into things. Now, people just accept, oh, it's just the internet. But it's actually not. What it is it's simply the mainstream media favouring itself. You might say, why should I worry about this? Well, think about this. Where do loss-making companies get the money to pay people millions of pounds for, things that are basically going to make a loss? Where does the money come from? Does it come from banks? Well, yeah, but the bank money, that's your money that you put in the bank. Do you know what I'm saying? That's actually your cash. So they're giving your cash to them. And you've also got, I suppose, the government. How can the government do it? They can do it through grants. They can do it other ways as well. They can, for instance, say, we want you to put an advert in the newspaper for us that will cost this amount. They can do it like that. They can simply, make sure that they employ their services so they can send money from the government, send money, your money to them. Now, you could see companies without profit can't really keep going very long. And that's generally the case. But if they're actually using your money, then that's different. That could just become a part of the system. But the thing is with this, it's a medium of control. It's a way of controlling people again. Because they want a disincentive. I know everyone's got social media and things like this, but they want a disincentive for the internet. They want to create a disincentive so people won't say, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to not just be famous for nothing, but I'm going to do this and share my knowledge of this or makeup or whatever it is that you do. They want a disincentive. Because that way, all the people from the internet will say, well, we're not really going to bother about it. That's what I think will happen. They'll say, we're not going to really bother about this anymore. It's not really worthwhile. We're just going to do this and we're just going to tweet things, but we're not really going to build it up. We're just going to keep it flat. And over there, I think, well, then no one will really build up, and we'll all spend our time on the TV or reading the newspapers. There should be pseudo of that name, shouldn't there? Newspaper. Have you ever seen any news in a newspaper? Really? Have you ever seen any? But we can see it's a way of controlling. And that means, what do we have to do? We have to do the same thing. We have to help each other. We have to tweet, retweet, share. We have to comment on things. Not the things that are commercially made by the BBC or these other big companies or things like this. No, we have to share stuff from individuals or very small companies. Because if we do that, we are helping ourselves have a larger range of options and an understanding of a larger range of things. And we're also meaning that they'll realise that just keep chucking our money at these companies isn't a good idea. It's not doing what they want. And they'll get to a point they'll have to accept it. They'll just have to accept that that's the way things are. And this, of course, it does damage the occult. Not occultism itself, but the amount of people that know about it. Because what we end up with is a situation where people can't learn about the occult, or they don't know about it. Because let's be honest, if you don't punch the right things into a search engine, you won't find out about real magic, about occultism, sorcery, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. You won't find anything about it unless you put the right terms in. And the mainstream media's got nothing really about the occult. Every now and again they like to give the impression that we're really not excluding this, but of course they are. They do exclude it. Because they don't really want a load of free-thinking individuals. They don't want free thinkers. They want people who will do exactly as they're told and go out and buy the useless crap that they have been advertising for decades and decades and decades. But you know, you don't have to do that. You can have occultism, real magic in your life, but the most important thing is to share things. Share things, comment, help yourself become free.